prostate cancer. Please grab your seat, sit properly. Okay? And take your pen and paper. You don't need to have pen and paper. On your phone, if you are using an Android, just search for notes. If you are using an iOS device, look for a notepad. So take notes to understand prostate cancer. Maybe you'll be hearing the same things that you've heard before. Maybe you'll be hearing something completely different that you've not heard before this morning on the subject of prostate cancer. Because prostate cancer is the most common major cause in men. Yes, if you are married, you'll be interested in this conversation. We understand it's highly treatable, especially if found early. And based on data from the National Cancer Institute surveillance between 2014 and 2020, survival rate is 97.5%. However, whether or not that is true, we'll find out this morning. Dr. Bisola Kadiku is a naturopath, and she's here with us in the studio. Thanks for joining us today.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
And how is your prostate health?
Well, let me first of all ask you, how was your birthday celebration?
Oh, it was good.
I have to ask that one.
It was quiet.
Okay. Really? Okay. Anyway, let's not say all of that here.
Okay.
Do you think there's a general, sufficient understanding of prostate cancer?
I would say no. Well, because you see, men generally, I'm sorry to say this, with all due respect to men, they don't take care of themselves as women do. I find more women coming into my clinic asking for how I can prevent this, how I can prevent that, but never men. I don't know how long it took me to convince my husband to go and do his PSA test. It must have taken me like months. And he keeps telling me, oh, I forgot. It doesn't happen like that with women. So you find some men right into their old age, they've never had a prostate test before, PSA test before. And then they go, boom, it's hitting the roof. So it makes me wonder, is there no awareness? Is it that nobody's talking to them and letting them know that as men advance in age, the prostate gland enlarges? And it's on until it gives them discomfort that they go forward for test. But I'll surprise you today. Do you know so many men with enlarged prostate do not have any symptoms? It doesn't mean that it's not going to be a problem, or in fact a cancer is growing in there. So
is it, okay, well, maybe there are those who would say men are very busy. Forgive me, I just have to defend the men, right?
I know.
You know, and it would seem like men are even more interested in the lives of their family than they are in themselves. Same goes for women, because there are some women who would rather, especially so-called career women, would rather give all the attention they need to their children and to their spouses and planning for them and sourcing for them, as opposed to taking care of themselves. Is that a myth?
I would say it's a myth, because to start with, women are very busy too. Women are taking care of children. Men are working for the money. Yeah, that's a general belief. But women have their hands down there, you know, taking care of children, taking care of their husbands, and women work as well. So it's not an excuse for any man who is over 40 to not take out just 1 hour go to the lab. You can walk into the lab. We live in a country where you don't need to see a doctor to give you a referral note to the lab. So you can walk to the lab and do your PSA, for heaven's sake. Do the test. Do the PSA test. And you don't have to worry about it in another year or two.
Now, what are the risks? I mean, you said something the other time that there are men watching now and listening to you who haven't considered taking any tests over the years. And as far as they're concerned, if it's not broken, don't fix it. So, what are the risks being run?
Let me start from the mildest. The mildest would be the change it creates in your life. You can imagine having enlarged prostates with its symptoms. Let's talk about the symptoms. Symptoms are frequent urination, a feeling of retention. Just imagine it as I'm talking about it. Imagine your sleep being disturbed. You waking up like 3 to 4 times a day during the night to go and urinate. How uncomfortable can that be? You wake up feeling groggy, you wake up feeling like you haven't really rested. And then you go to the bathroom. You still feel that you have some retention in there. It's quite uncomfortable. And then that can also start what we call prostatitis. That is inflammation of the prostate. And this can be quite uncomfortable. It can give you a burning feeling when you're urinating. It's not nice to carry an infection everywhere. And then again, we talk about the risk of cancer itself. It's not all enlarged prostates that give way to cancer. So when you have an enlarged prostate, don't panic. Don't say that, oh, I have cancer. No, you don't. It doesn't have to be, but it could be, because then you'll be sent to the lab to do a biopsy for you to test if it's cancer. All that can be quite uncomfortable. You don't have to wait. And
the life that you are trying to make for your family, you can't make it.
Precisely.
And the trajectory of your life is entirely disrupted just by that.
Exactly.
Now, perhaps one of the things to consider here would be the lifestyle of any human being, particularly men in this case, around that. Okay. Is there a lifestyle culture that could make one more vulnerable to it?
Yes. Smoking, alcohol, not eating the right foods. I always say you are what you eat. And as a naturopath, a nutritional expert, I will always talk about what you eat. It's what you eat really that can prevent diseases. You see, people talk about our healthcare system in Nigeria, how poor it is. But I always tell them, if you take care of yourself, you don't have to see the doctor. So how can you take care of yourself as a man to make sure you don't get to where we're talking about, this enlarged prostate? Of course, you would have a significant enlarged prostate as you grow. But for it not to be problematic is what we're trying to prevent. As a man, make sure that you make some of these foods that I'm going to mention a staple in your life, a staple in your diet. A staple is food that you eat at least 3 times in a week. So let's talk about lycopene-rich foods. Let me break it down.
Please,
okay.
So it's
any food that is red.
Okay.
So let's talk about tomatoes. Tomato juice is nice. You can learn how to make tomato juice 3 times in a week. Take tomato juice. It's nice. It's very delicious. Eat a lot of watermelon. Watermelon is everywhere. Watermelon is red, right? Let's talk about strawberries. If you live in a country where they grow strawberries. Let's talk about guava. When guava is in season, you can eat it. Any food that is red, pomegranates. Well, we don't live in a country where pomegranate grows, but you can buy it in dried form. You can make it as tea. Take a lot of that. Cranberries and anything that is red is good for prostate.
How about red meat?
No, not red meat.
Is it not red?
Not red meat.
Oh, really? Why?
Well, I'm not saying don't eat red meat.
Okay.
We all know that excessive eating of red meat, causes problems. But I'm not one of the naturopaths that will tell you don't eat red meat, because red meat is safe to eat in this part of the world. Please
explain, because that's not the information we get.
Yes, the information you're getting, you're reading from an author who is not a Nigerian. Okay, so if I was going to write anything on the internet, I would advise you to eat a lot of red meat, if you can, if you don't have certain diseases.
Why?
Because it has properties like zinc in it, which protects you from so many diseases. Why am I rooting for red meat in this part of the world? Because our animals, I keep saying, they eat the right food. Our cows, our goats eat the right food. They are allowed to graze and eat natural foods. The reason why it is not safe to eat it out there is because they are fed with artificial foods that change their DNA. And since you are what you eat, you are eating what those cows are eating. And so it mutates your own DNA as well. So please go ahead. It is safe for you to eat red meat if you don't have certain diseases, which your natural path will tell you not to eat.
Okay. Well, it's at the risk of saying open grazing is okay, but you're not saying that, so let's just leave it with that right there. Now you've talked about red, all things red being good.
All things red being good.
Caution in the place of red meat.
Yes.
So what other things?
Yes, also omega-3 rich foods. Seeds are known to have omega-3, they're known to be rich in omega-3 and omega-6.
What kind of seeds?
Seeds like egusi.
Oh, okay.
So men, please don't run away from egusi.
Especially when it's well made.
Well made, with good palm oil, original palm oil.
Okay.
And we also have seeds here in Nigeria like ogbono seed. Ogbono seed is good. Egusi seed is good. Any sort of seeds have omega-3, omega-6. And then, of course, eat a lot of fish. We also have omega-3 fatty acid in fruits like avocado.
Sorry, before you move off fish, there are those who say that catfish is a little problematic. Is that true?
It depends on what you call catfish. Is it farm-raised?
Okay.
Any farm-raised food, any farm-raised animal is problematic. I just talked about cows that are farm-raised. And yes, indeed, catfish that is farm-raised is problematic because they are not given their natural foods to eat. And the foods that they give them are artificial. It mutates their DNA, their genes. And if you eat it, you are eating poison. So yes, you can eat obokun, especially oily fish, that is less scaly fishes, are very rich in omega-3. You can eat those ones. Mackerel is good. Like I said, obokun is good. We have some fishes that have tiny scales, small scales. They're also very good.
Now, for those who are fish farmers, and who wants to produce to advantage, what are the things they should avoid giving this fish?
Artificial foods. Imagine giving fishes noodles. I once did a research. When
I can't even imagine. Okay.
Yeah, they mix it with their feeds.
Wow.
Yeah, they mix all sorts of things with their feeds, things that God did not create them to eat. So if God did not create them those kind of foods to eat, so you are making your own creation. So you see, and we all know as naturopaths, we always talk about man-made foods, how poisonous these are to your body systems. So don't go near man-made food.
Okay, you want to talk about the research you did?
Yes, I did the research to find out what kind of feeds they give, what is in the feed that they give these fishes. And yes, I found out that they have noodles in it, they have wheat in it, wheat. So you can imagine, I mean, there's no wheat down there in their natural habitation. So, I mean, how do you expect them to digest it?
Okay, so moving forward now, so we've talked about certain basics that they can eat, but then this is Africa. We love our swallows. Which one of them is injurious to a man's health, and which one of them is good? Don't forget that we love our nkwobi.
I haven't said any.
I'm just saying.
I haven't.
Wait, you haven't seen what?
I haven't said any swallow is dangerous.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Or injurious.
Okay.
I am an advocate for traditional foods.
Okay.
Because if you want to know the reason why our ancestors did not have all these diseases that we're having right now, watch what they ate and eat what they ate. Please don't run away from it. Don't let any white man come and tell you that, oh, this is not good for your health. What we've been used to eating, like cassava, like gari, like eba. Don't let anybody come and tell you that it is injurious to your health.
Well, we know it's not injurious, but then one of the things that a good number of people will say out there is that eating swallows is good because it's quicker. You get filled, quicker. But then there are those who say, okay, it could make you vulnerable to diabetes. It has a lot of sugar and all those things. And I'm watching what I want to eat. I don't want to eat too much swallow because I don't want to grow too fat. I don't want to get big bellies and all those things.
The African man, African woman is created by God to be fleshy. That's what makes us beautiful. Okay. I'm a naturopath. I watch my weight, but I make sure that I don't concentrate on counting calories. I count chemicals. And I dare say that I have the right weight. I'm happy with my weight. I'm a beautiful woman.
I know.
I feel beautiful.
Okay, so let's come back to men. Let's come back to men. Enough of women this time around. Let's come back to men. Okay, but then there is also the place of physical activity. All these issues are coming out now because it would seem like generally, as you said earlier, we don't get... Not much attention is given to these things. What many people know about prostate cancer is what they read on the internet or what they're just told, hearsay. And as you mentioned, it's so easy for anyone to just put anything on the internet. So in terms of other activities, you've talked about our nutrition, that we need to watch that very, very carefully. What else needs to go into prevention?
I know you want me to talk about men having sex regularly.
I didn't see it. I'm just asking.
Many men come to my clinic and ask me that do I have this enlarged prostate because I'm not having sex regularly? It's all a myth. I don't know where they got that from. It has nothing to do. I haven't read anything in science that says that if you have sex regularly, you won't have enlarged prostate. No, there's no connection.
So it's a natural thing. The prostate will go.
It would grow,
Okay.
but it doesn't have to give you problems. And then again, I need to clear something. You are talking about prostate cancer all the time. Enlarged prostate does not equal prostate cancer. Enlarged prostate could be benign. That's what we call in medicine PBH, benign prostatic hyperplasia. It just means that the cells are growing more than normal. They are growing to a point where that gland is now enlarged, but it's benign. That is non-cancerous. That can give you discomfort, but it would not kill you, and it does not lead to cancer. So we have that with issues on prostate health. We also have prostatitis, which I mentioned earlier. Prostatitis is when it is infected. When there is an infection there, you need to fix it because it gives you discomfort. Now, then we have the big C, the monstrous C. So there are three issues that can happen with your prostate health. So, but in all that, you need to take care of your prostate. You need to prevent any of these three from happening.
Now, how about genetic factors? How significant is family history in the risk of developing prostate cancer?
Genetic factor comes to play when we're talking about cancer. But genetic factor has nothing to do with enlarged prostate, PBH, or prostatitis. Anybody can have that. And in most cases, yes, genetic factors affect, your rate, the rate of the chance of you getting prostate cancer.
Now, you've talked about, in terms of lifestyle, you've talked about what we eat. How about physical activity? Is that significant? We will grow. I mean, you just said it already. Naturally, it will grow.
Yes.
But in what way does physical activity help?
Yes, the only physical activity that prevents enlarged prostates giving you problems is called the Kegel exercises.
Kegel exercise, okay.
It is a pelvic floor exercise, which men should go and learn how to do. It's easy. It's something that you can do at home. It takes only 3 minutes in the day to do it. And if you do it as frequently as like 5 times a week, then you're fine.
So Kegel, just to be clear, is K-E?
K-E-G-E-L.
K-E-G-E-L. So please go ahead and Google it. K-E-G-E-L.
K-E-G-E-L.
For men. What many are wondering what women have got to do because what men have got to do because they always knew that to be something that women did, right?
Kegel, no.
Oh, okay.
Men also, because you see, your prostate is sitting just right above your pelvic floor.
Okay.
So you need to firm up the muscles there for you to, reduce the size of the prostate.
Are there other risk factors? You've talked about age, which is a natural phenomenon. But then is this something that's peculiar to ethnicity or livelihood or any form of work anyone does?
There's so many myths.
Oh, God.
So many myths. And I don't want to talk about myths right now. But yes, it is said sometimes that it's peculiar amongst black men, I guess it's because black men don't really exercise. You find white men, they run, they do the Kegel exercises. They're open to information on how to prevent enlarged prostates.
Okay. All right. Do other medical conditions complicate a benign prostate?
I would say no.
Okay.
Although some other naturopaths may argue that, maybe side effects of some other drugs that you're taking. But no, it's an age thing. It's something that comes naturally.
Now, for those who may be at risk now, or for those who may have confirmed that they do have it, what can you recommend for them?
Yes.
Within the next few
thing that
seconds?
I'm going to say is that don't panic. If you have enlarged prostate, don't panic. Don't go and do any surgery immediately, because you may be advised by your doctors to go and do a surgery. You see, that abnormal growth of those cells, they may never give you problems till you die. It's slow in growing. It may never outgrow the size that it is right now. It may never harm you in any way. So don't rush to go and castrate yourself. You can see a naturopath, see a doctor of natural medicine who can help you to give you some supplements, which I'm not going to mention here. There's some supplements, very good, that in 1 month, you just find your PSA level coming down, like a miracle. So they can also advise you on lifestyle change.
Okay, let me just hang it there, because before I give some people panic attacks. Thank you so much for being here this morning. I think that's the basic understanding. There's those who are wondering, hey, you guys weren't talking about prostate cancer, you're just talking about prostate. Yes. Otherwise, would you even listen in the first place? Thank you so much for being here this morning. Dr. Bisola Kadiku is a naturopath.
Yes, I am.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
I would have asked you what you do, but I don't even want to. Go and Google it.